Evan Hale sat slumped on the edge of the medical transport pod, breathing shallowly. His uniform was torn and scorched, a testament to the accident that had left him like this. Around him, the hum of the interstellar medical station was calm, almost serene. But inside Evan, panic fought with pain. Every breath hurt. Every movement was a struggle. The pod's doors hissed open, and a figure stepped inside. She was unlike anyone Evan had ever seen. Tall, slender, with skin that shimmered like liquid silver in the artificial lights. Her eyes held a depth that felt ancient and kind all at once. Her name tag read Nira, and she was a nurse from the Lunara, a species known throughout the galaxy for their extraordinary healing abilities. "Stay still," Nira said softly, her voice melodic and calming. She scanned Evan with her multispectral visor, watching his vitals rise and fall erratically. "You've sustained injuries beyond human treatment. Standard medicines won't help. You need something different." Evan tried to speak but coughed instead. "Different? How?" Nira hesitated, as if weighing her words carefully. "There is a substance, a healing serum produced only by my people. It is forbidden to give it to outsiders. It bonds with the body in ways that humans cannot fully control. But you are in danger. If I do nothing, you will die." Evan's heart beat faster. Not just from pain, but from hope. I don't care about rules. I just don't want to die." Nira nodded, her expression torn. Her people had strict laws about their biological gifts. Giving this serum to a human could bring consequences, loss of position, even exile, but she could not ignore the life in front of her. She made her choice. "I will help you," she whispered. "But it will change you, Evan Hale. You may not return to being exactly human." He blinked, the words registering slowly. I don't care. Please, just save me." She extended her hands, and a small, luminous vial floated between her fingers, held by a faint energy field. The liquid shimmered like moonlight, moving as if alive. Nira explained, "This is Lunara milk. 1 drop is enough to start the healing. I will administer it carefully." Evan swallowed hard, trying to muster courage. "Do it." As the serum touched his skin, warmth spread from the wound outwards. Pain retreated like shadows at dawn. He gasped at the sensation. It was unlike any human medicine he had ever felt. The energy within him seemed to awaken, stirring a strength he never knew existed. Minutes passed. Slowly, Evan's breathing became steady. Color returned to his pale skin. His eyes widened as he flexed his fingers and toes, feeling the movement smooth and effortless. Nira watched, silently relieved, though a trace of worry lingered in her glowing eyes. "It's working," she murmured, almost to herself. Evan turned to her, amazement written on his face. I feel incredible. Like I can do anything." Nira offered a small smile. "The serum bonds with your body. It will help heal your injuries and strengthen you. But you may notice changes. Some things will not be familiar to you anymore. Your senses, your body, they will adapt in ways humans rarely experience." Evan's gaze drifted downward. He flexed his hands again and noticed a faint shimmer in the air around them, almost like a heat wave, though he felt no warmth. Then he realized he could hear a soft hum the station's energy conduits, the movement of distant staff, the faint vibrations of the transport engines. Normally, humans could not detect such delicate sounds. "This is amazing," he whispered. "But what's happening to me?" Nira stepped closer, her hand brushing his arm lightly. "It is a gift and a responsibility. Your body has been given the ability to heal faster, sense more, and connect in ways humans cannot yet understand. You will need to learn control." Evan's head spun, a mix of excitement and uncertainty. "Connect? How?" The serum allows your mind and body to resonate with living energy, not just your own, but others as well. You may feel emotions, see faint energy patterns, or even sense intentions. But it must be handled gently. The bond grows stronger with empathy, not force. Evan nodded slowly. I'll try. I don't want to lose this. Whatever this is. Nira guided him to a medical bed, adjusting monitors and restraints to ensure he was comfortable. You will rest for now. Tomorrow, we will begin training. You must learn to understand your new senses before the rest of the station notices. If they see what has happened too soon, questions will arise, and rules may be enforced that we cannot yet face. Evan's thoughts swirled. The idea that he could become something more than human, something capable of understanding and connecting with others in ways never imagined. It was overwhelming, but exciting. For the first time in his life, he felt like he was more than just a soldier following orders. As he drifted into sleep, the last thing he felt was Nira's presence beside him, warm, gentle, reassuring. He could feel a faint heartbeat, rhythmic and calm, not his own but hers, and it comforted him. Morning came quietly. Evan awoke to a soft light filtering through the medical bay. He stretched instinctively and marveled as the stiffness and pain that had plagued him were gone entirely. His movements felt fluid, controlled, almost elegant. Nira entered, carrying a tray with simple nourishment. Eat something, she encouraged. Your body will need energy to stabilize the serum fully. Evan sat up and took the meal, still watching her closely. I want to understand. Everything you told me, I want to learn it. Nira smiled gently. You are brave to say that. The serum does more than heal. It gives you a chance to grow beyond human limitations. But it will take patience. You cannot rush what is still new. Over the next few hours, Evan began noticing subtle changes. Colors seemed brighter. Sounds sharper. Even his thoughts felt clearer. More organized. But more than that, he sensed patterns in the station. The flow of energy. The movement of people. The rhythm of life itself. It was like waking up to a world he had never truly seen. Curiosity overcame him. He stood and walked toward the bay window, looking out at the sprawling station orbiting a distant star. The sight was breathtaking, but he felt it more deeply now. Not just as a human observing, but as someone connected to the very essence of life around him. Nira watched from behind, her expression thoughtful. The first day is always like this, she said softly. There is wonder, and there is adjustment. You will need guidance, and you will make mistakes, but that is part of the learning. Evan turned to her, a spark of determination in his eyes. I don't care about mistakes. I want to understand, to help, to be better. I feel like I've been given a second chance, and I don't want to waste it. Nira nodded approvingly. Good. That attitude will serve you well. But remember, strength alone is not enough. The serum's bond grows with empathy, with understanding, with respect. You must learn patience, and you must respect the life around you. Hours passed, and Evan continued exploring his new abilities quietly. He touched a nearby plant and felt its life energy pulse, faintly through his fingers. He listened to the distant chatter of the station staff and could distinguish emotions, even when words were not spoken. It was overwhelming, but exhilarating. By evening, he had mastered basic control, able to calm his newfound senses. He returned to his bed, feeling a mix of fatigue and excitement. Nira joined him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Tomorrow, she said, we begin training properly. You will need discipline, control, and understanding. The galaxy is large, and there are many who might question or misunderstand what you have become. But with guidance, you can turn this gift into something extraordinary. Evan smiled, his resolve firm. I'll do it. Whatever it takes, I'll learn. As he lay down, he realized something remarkable. He was no longer just Evan Hale, the human soldier. He was something more, a bridge between species, a new possibility for understanding and cooperation, and for the first time, he felt truly alive. Outside the window, the stars shone brilliantly, and Evan knew that his journey had only just begun. The healing that had saved him was only the first step. What lay ahead would challenge him in ways he could not yet imagine, but he was ready, and somewhere deep in the chamber, Nira watched over him, silently promising to guide him through this transformation, knowing that the bond they shared would shape not just one life, but perhaps the future of many. Evan Hale awoke with a start. The morning light filtered softly through the medical bay windows, brushing over the silver panels of the interstellar station. Something was different. He sat up, expecting the usual stiffness and fatigue after a day of training, but there was none. Every muscle, every joint felt alive, responsive, and ready. He swung his legs over the bed and stood. A simple motion, yet it felt extraordinary. The faint shimmer he had noticed the day before, the small halo of energy around his movements, was more noticeable now. It followed him as he walked to the window. A soft glow in the artificial morning light. Nira entered with her usual calm, holding a small tray of food and a portable tablet. "Good morning," she said, her voice steady but gentle. "How are you feeling today?" Evan turned to her, a hint of awe in his eyes. I feel amazing. Strong. Everything feels sharper, like I can sense the world in a way I never could before." Nira nodded. "That is expected. The serum bonds with your body gradually. Your senses will continue to expand, but it must be guided carefully. You cannot allow the changes to overwhelm you." "I understand," Evan replied, his voice firm. She set the tray down beside him. "Then we begin today. But first, you must know something important. Your abilities may seem incredible, even fun at times, but they come with responsibility. How you act, how you think, even how you feel can affect the bond. You will not be able to hide this forever. Others will notice. We must be careful." Evan took a deep breath, letting the weight of her words sink in. "I won't cause trouble. I want to understand myself." Nira smiled faintly. "Good. Then we start with observation exercises." They moved to a quiet training area on the station. The room was filled with soft lights, holographic projectors, and floating energy markers, tools for both human and alien medical studies. Evan focused, listening to Nira's instructions. "First," she said, "you will sense life energy. Focus on your surroundings. Do not force it. Simply notice." Evan closed his eyes. At first, all he sensed was the familiar rhythm of his own heartbeat, but slowly, other patterns appeared, subtle waves of energy from the plants, the movement of the air, even the distant hum of the station's engines. His mind expanded to include the gentle pulse of Nira's presence beside him. Her calm energy intertwined with his awareness, a comforting current that guided his focus. This is incredible," Evan whispered. "I can feel everything." Nira's eyes glimmered. "You are feeling not just life, but harmony. The serum allows you to connect to what is alive around you. It is not magic, it is understanding, on a level humans rarely achieve. But there is a limit. Overextend, and your mind may grow confused. Balance is essential." Evan nodded, committing her advice to memory. He spent hours that morning practicing, focusing on individual plants, then small animals kept for research, then the movement of other station personnel from a distance. Each exercise strengthened his senses, but also revealed new challenges. Emotions were now audible, almost like soft melodies in the air. Happiness, worry, curiosity, they all flowed around him, delicate and intertwined. By mid-afternoon, Nira guided him through physical exercises. His strength was extraordinary, beyond human limits, yet controlled. He could lift equipment with ease, leap across the training area in one bound, and move with the agility of someone entirely new. "Do not rush this," Nira cautioned. "Power without understanding is dangerous. You must respect what you can do." Evan smiled. "I will, I promise. But I have to admit, It feels amazing. Like I'm becoming more of myself. The phrase made Nira pause. She studied him closely, sensing the depth of sincerity in his voice. Perhaps, she said quietly, you are discovering not just abilities, but potential human potential enhanced by empathy and connection. That is why the serum is forbidden. Its power must be matched with wisdom. Evan's eyes brightened. Then I want to learn that too. I want to be wise, Nira, not just strong. Hours passed, and Evan began experimenting with his abilities. He could sense the emotions of people in nearby rooms, distinguishing anxiety from curiosity, calm from excitement. He could hear conversations in adjacent corridors without straining, not because of spying, but because the energy patterns carried subtle vibrations that his mind now interpreted naturally. When a small station robot approached, carrying a tray, Evan smiled and lifted a hand. The robot paused, waiting. He guided it gently to its destination with a thought, a subtle energy that communicated clearly without words. Nira watched, impressed but cautious. You are learning fast, she said, but remember, this is only the beginning. Eventually, you will face challenges beyond this station, challenges that cannot be solved by strength alone. Your empathy, your understanding, your patience. These will define you more than your abilities ever will. Evan absorbed her words, feeling their truth. He wanted to do more than survive. He wanted to thrive, to grow, to help. Late in the afternoon, while practicing meditation exercises, Evan felt a new sensation. A faint memory, not his own, flickered in his mind images of Nira's homeworld, shimmering cities, vast forests bathed in light, and beings moving with grace and wisdom. The visions were brief but vivid, leaving him awed and curious. What is this? He asked, opening his eyes. Nira approached, her expression thoughtful. The serum can create a bond between the donor and the recipient. It is subtle, often invisible. You are beginning to sense not just energy, but memory and emotion from me. It is normal at this stage, though unusual in a human. Evan looked at her, wonder shining in his eyes. I can understand you better? Even your memories? Yes, Nira replied softly, but it is not your mind replacing mine. It is connection. You must treat it carefully. Respect what you feel, and it will guide you. Misuse it, and confusion can arise. He nodded solemnly. I will respect it. I promise. Their training continued into the evening. Evan was exhausted, yet exhilarated. His senses had sharpened, his body had strengthened, and his understanding of life around him had expanded in ways he could never have imagined. But questions still nagged at him. How would others react? Would his transformation be accepted or feared? Nira sensed his worry. Do not concern yourself with what others may think, she said. For now, focus on your own growth. Your abilities are a gift, and gifts are meant to be used wisely. You are not alone. I will guide you. Evan felt a warmth in her words, a steady reassurance. The bond between them was growing not in a romantic sense, but in trust, guidance, and mutual respect. He realized that even as he became something more than human, he was still human in the ways that mattered. Empathy, gratitude, and the desire to help. As night fell over the station, Evan stood at the observation deck, gazing at the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly before him. Each star, a promise of possibility. He could feel the rhythm of life in every corner, the pulse of distant planets, the subtle vibrations of alien species, the gentle currents of energy flowing through the station itself. This is incredible, he whispered. I never knew the universe could feel alive like this. Nira joined him, standing quietly beside him. It is alive, she said. And now, so are you. In a new way. Remember, this is only the beginning. Your journey is just starting, Evan. Soon, you may face choices that will test everything you have learned. But for now, rest. Tomorrow brings new lessons, new challenges, and new discoveries. Evan looked at her, determination in his eyes. I'm ready. I want to learn, to grow, to be more. And I'll do it with you guiding me. She smiled softly, her eyes reflecting the stars outside. Then we will face it together. Step by step, day by day. And who knows, perhaps the galaxy itself will learn from what we discover. For the first time in his life, Evan felt a deep sense of purpose. He had been given a second chance not just to live, but to become something extraordinary. And though the road ahead was uncertain, he knew one thing for sure. He would not waste it. As he closed his eyes, a quiet hum of energy surrounded him, the faint glow of his new abilities settling into harmony. Outside the station, stars continued to shine, endless and watchful, as if acknowledging the beginning of a story that could change the galaxy itself. Evan smiled in the darkness, ready for whatever came next. Evan Hale had learned to walk, move, and sense with abilities far beyond a normal human. Each day brought new discoveries, the delicate threads of life that connected everything, the flow of energy that guided living beings, and the subtle emotions that could be felt without words. Yet, the more he learned, the more he realized that his abilities could not remain a secret forever. That morning, the station's calm routine was interrupted by the arrival of Inspector Voren, a high-ranking Lunera official. Voren was known throughout the galaxy for his strict adherence to rules and protocols, and for questioning anyone who might disrupt them. Evan noticed him the moment the transport doors hissed open. The inspector's sharp silver eyes swept across the room, scanning every detail, every device. Nira stood calmly by Evan's bedside, though he could sense the tension in her energy. "They've come for us," Evan whispered, his heart beating faster. Nira's hand brushed his shoulder. "Stay calm. Trust me. We will handle this. But we must be honest. Hiding will only make it worse if they discover the truth." Voren approached, his gaze fixed on Nira. "Nurse Nira," he said, voice firm but not unkind, "I have been instructed to review all medical activities from this station. There are reports of unusual cases that require explanation." Nira nodded, her expression polite but cautious. "I understand, Inspector. How may I assist you?" Evan's mind raced. Could he step forward? Could he explain? The bond between them pulsed gently, reminding him that honesty and trust were the path forward. "I will handle this," Evan said softly. He stood, the energy around him humming faintly, controlled but noticeable. "Inspector, my name is Evan Hale. I am a patient here, but I need to speak the truth. I received treatment from Nira that saved my life. It involved a serum from her species. It is true that the procedure was unusual, but it was necessary." Voren's silver eyes narrowed slightly. "Unusual in what way?" Evan took a deep breath. "It enhanced my senses, my strength, and my ability to perceive life. I can sense energy, emotions, and even faint patterns of memory. I am aware that this is not common for humans, but the procedure saved me. I am alive because of it." Nira watched him carefully, a mix of pride and concern in her eyes. She had feared this moment, yet Evan handled it with honesty and calm, a human showing wisdom beyond his species. Voren paused, considering Evan's words. "I will need to verify these claims. The serum is forbidden for human use. Unauthorized application is a serious violation." Evan nodded. "I understand, but please know, Nira acted with compassion. She saved my life when nothing else could. I am willing to demonstrate control over these abilities, if it helps you understand the situation." Voren's gaze shifted to Evan. He extended a hand, and with a subtle motion, Evan projected a small pulse of energy. It was faint but visible, a soft shimmer in the air, like a ripple of light following his movement. Nira's eyes glimmered with pride. "This is remarkable," Voren said. "I have not seen a human with this level of control. It appears the serum has bonded in a unique way. Still, the rules remain. Your actions, Nurse Nira, must be explained." Nira straightened. "Inspector, the choice was mine. I followed my instincts to save a life." Evan responded with responsibility and control. I understand the risks, and I accept any consequences. But I ask that you see this as more than violation. It is an opportunity for understanding, for bridging the gap between species. Vorin remained silent, observing both of them. He could sense the honesty and courage emanating from Evan, and the steady guidance of Nira. Their bond was evident, but it was rooted in trust, not coercion. Evan felt the faint stir of energy in his mind, the connection to Nira, the shared understanding that they were aligned in purpose. He spoke again. Voice calm. Inspector, I am not the same person I was yesterday. I am stronger, yes, but also more aware. I understand life, energy, and empathy in ways I never could before. I do not seek power for myself. I want to learn, to help, to share this understanding. Vorin's eyes softened, though his posture remained firm. The potential here is undeniable. Your abilities, Evan Hale, could serve as a bridge not just for healing, but for understanding. This is unexpected and unprecedented. Nira's heart thumped with cautious relief. She could sense that Vorin was weighing the potential benefits against the strict rules of her species. It is an opportunity, she said, for humans and Lunara alike, for unity, for growth. We must choose wisely. Evan's curiosity stirred again. Inspector, I've begun to sense more than just energy. I see patterns, faint memories, emotions from others. It's subtle, but it can guide understanding. It's not dangerous. It can help us learn about each other, if we use it carefully. Vorin nodded slowly. I will recommend further observation. Controlled study may reveal the full potential of this bond, but any deviation from protocol must be reported and approved. The serum's effects are significant and must be monitored. Evan felt a surge of gratitude. This was more than acceptance. It was an opportunity to prove that compassion, intelligence, and empathy could bridge the rules and the unknown. Later, in the quiet of the observation deck, Nira and Evan reflected on the morning. The bond between them had deepened, now strengthened not just by the serum, but by shared experience. You handled that well, Nira said softly. Your honesty, your calm. It saved both of us from immediate trouble. Evan shrugged, a small smile on his lips. I just told the truth. That's all I could do. But what I feel now, the memories, the energy, the connection, it's overwhelming at times. I can sense you, your thoughts, your feelings. Sometimes I see faint flashes of your homeworld. It's beautiful, but it's a lot. Nira placed her hand lightly on his shoulder. It is natural. The serum bonds deeply. It will take time to fully understand it. You are human, but with something more. That is rare. You must treat it carefully. Evan nodded. I want to learn. I don't want to misuse this gift. Their conversation was interrupted by a soft chime. A message appeared on the station's communication terminal. It was an invitation from the station council, a request to meet and discuss the implications of Evan's transformation. Evan's pulse quickened. They want to see me. Today. Nira's expression was serious. This is expected. Your abilities cannot remain hidden for long. They will want to understand, and they may test your control. But do not fear. You are ready. Evan took a deep breath, centering himself. He could feel the bond with Nira steadying him, guiding him. He walked toward the council chamber with confidence, each step smooth, controlled, and precise. Inside, the council awaited representatives from multiple species, humans included. All curious, all attentive. Eyes turned to Evan. And for the first time, he realized the full weight of their attention. Yet, instead of fear, he felt clarity. I am Evan Hale, he began. I received treatment that saved my life. The serum I received bonded with me, giving me abilities beyond normal human limits. I do not seek power. I seek understanding, learning, and connection. He demonstrated a small control of his energy, enough to show stability and empathy without overwhelming the observers. Faces softened, murmurs spread not of fear, but of fascination. One council member, a human doctor, leaned forward. "Your control is extraordinary. If this is a safe bond, the implications for medicine, healing, and interspecies understanding are enormous." Another, a Lunara scholar, added, "Indeed, the potential to bridge species, to share knowledge and empathy, is unprecedented. We must study this carefully. But the benefits are clear." Evan felt pride swell in him, but it was not the pride of power. It was pride in the opportunity to serve, to help, and to show that humanity, when guided by courage and honesty, could rise beyond expectation. When the meeting concluded, Vorin approached him quietly. "Evan Hale, you have exceeded expectations. Your honesty, control, and empathy have shown that even when rules are broken, understanding and courage can create new possibilities." Evan smiled, the energy around him settling into a calm harmony. "Thank you, Inspector. I will do my best to learn and to help others understand." Later, as the stars twinkled beyond the observation deck, Evan stood with Nira. "I feel different," he said softly. "Not just in strength, but in who I am. I want to use this to do good, to connect, to help. But I wonder what challenges lie ahead." Nira placed her hand on his shoulder. "Challenges will come, but you are not alone. You are strong, and you are wise. Together, we can face whatever comes next. The bond you share with the serum, with me, and with life itself, it will guide you." Evan looked out at the stars, feeling the faint pulse of energy from the distant planets, the station, and Nira. His journey had begun, and though the road ahead was uncertain, he knew he could face it with courage, empathy, and determination. The galaxy felt alive to him, vast and full of possibility. And for the first time, he truly believed that humans, with heart, wisdom, and courage, could rise to meet the challenges of the stars. Evan Hale woke to a soft, golden light filtering through the observation deck windows. The hum of the station was gentle, steady, comforting. He stretched, and for the first time, he felt completely at peace with his body. No pain, no fear, only clarity. The serum had fully bonded, completing the transformation that began with a single drop of Lunara milk. Beside him, Nira observed quietly, her eyes reflecting the stars outside. "It is done," she said softly. "The transformation is complete. You are stable, in harmony with the serum, and fully in control of your abilities." Evan rose and moved slowly, flexing his hands. A soft glow followed him, subtle but steady. He felt energy coursing through his body, not like power to dominate, but like a gentle river, flowing with purpose and balance. He closed his eyes and sensed the life around him, the plants in the station garden, the staff moving about, even the distant rhythms of the orbiting satellite. Everything was connected, and he was part of it. "It feels right," Evan said, opening his eyes. "Not like I've changed against myself, but like I've become who I'm supposed to be." Nira smiled, relief and pride mingling in her expression. "That is the gift of the serum. Not to make you stronger, or faster, or more than human, but to bring out potential that already existed. You have embraced it with wisdom and empathy, Evan. That is why it has bonded so well." Evan's mind turned to the council, Vorin, and the others who had witnessed his abilities. He realized that their acceptance, though cautious, represented something bigger than rules. It represented trust, a chance for humans and Lunara to work together in ways never imagined. Later, they were called to the station's central chamber. The council gathered to formally recognize Evan's abilities and the role of the serum. Representatives of many species watched closely, some skeptical, others curious, but all attentive. Vorin spoke first. Evan Hale is the first human to bond successfully with the Lunara healing serum. His control, empathy, and wisdom are exceptional. This bond demonstrates that compassion, understanding, and courage can create opportunities that rules alone cannot. A Lunara scholar added, "We have long believed that certain gifts are only for our species. But Evan has shown us that humanity, when guided by courage and heart, can rise beyond limitations. This is a new chapter for interspecies cooperation." Evan stood quietly, feeling the gentle pulse of energy in his body. He spoke softly, with honesty and humility. "I am grateful for this gift, and for the trust given to me. I do not seek power or recognition. I wish only to learn, to help, and to share understanding. If my abilities can unite species, heal, or guide, then that is the purpose I will follow." The council members nodded, murmuring in agreement. It was clear that Evan's journey was not just about personal transformation. It was a symbol of potential, hope, and the possibility of a brighter, more connected galaxy. After the meeting, Evan returned to the observation deck with Nira. He gazed out at the stars, feeling the vastness of space, the endless potential for life, growth, and understanding. "I never imagined," Evan said quietly, "that a single choice to trust someone, to accept help could change everything. Not just for me, but for others too." Nira joined him, her presence steady and reassuring. "Compassion often has consequences greater than we expect. You have shown that humans can rise to meet the unknown, not with fear, but with empathy and courage. That is a lesson the galaxy needs." Evan nodded, sensing the bond between them more clearly than ever. It was not just biological, but emotional, intellectual, and ethical, a partnership rooted in respect and guidance. The serum had created a bridge, but it was their choices that made it meaningful. Days passed, and Evan trained with purpose. He learned to focus his energy not just on sensing life, but on enhancing it. Small injuries healed faster, subtle problems in the station's systems could be detected, and energy flows could be balanced to optimize growth in plants and improve the well-being of others. One afternoon, while walking through the station garden, Evan paused by a young human child, observing a small alien creature. He knelt beside the child and extended a hand. The creature, sensing Evan's energy, approached gently. Evan smiled. "See? All life is connected. When you understand, respect, and help, everything thrives." The child's eyes widened with wonder. "It's amazing. How do you do that?" Evan chuckled softly. "It's not magic. It's learning to feel, to care, and to understand. Anyone can do it, if they try." Nira watched from a distance, heart warmed. Evan was teaching not just abilities, but philosophy, the essence of empathy and connection, that the serum amplified. News of Evan's transformation spread quietly across the galaxy. Instead of fear or judgment, curiosity and respect grew. Humans were seen in a new light, as beings capable of rising to challenges through heart, intelligence, and courage. Evan and Nira were offered positions in a new interspecies program, designed to study healing, energy, and cooperation. The program would train humans and Lunara alike, combining knowledge to create solutions for challenges across the galaxy. Evan accepted, seeing it as an opportunity to serve, to teach, and to learn. Nira stood beside him, guiding, advising, and learning alongside him. Their partnership became a symbol proof that compassion, honesty, and courage could rewrite expectations, break barriers, and create unity. Weeks later, while observing the station from the highest deck, Evan felt the faint pulse of energy from distant planets. He closed his eyes, feeling the rhythm of life across the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown possibilities, yet connected through energy, empathy, and understanding. "I can feel it," Evan said softly. "Not just the station, not just the life around me, but everything. Every planet, every being, every pulse of energy. It's incredible." Nira stood beside him, her hand resting lightly on his shoulder. "And now, you understand your role, not as a warrior, not as a soldier, but as a bridge, a guide, a learner. The galaxy will watch and learn through you." Evan smiled, feeling the hum of energy settle into harmony. "I will do my best. I will learn, guide, and help. And I'll never forget the choice that brought me here. The trust, the compassion, and the bond that saved me." At that moment, a new shuttle arrived at the station. It carried representatives from distant worlds, eager to witness Evan's abilities, to learn, and to explore collaboration. He stepped forward confidently, ready to meet them, ready to share understanding and empathy, ready to show that humans could rise to meet the stars. Nira watched him, pride and hope shining in her eyes. She knew that this was more than transformation. It was a beginning that could change lives, unite species, and create possibilities that had never been imagined. Evan extended a hand to greet the new arrivals, his aura calm but radiant. The visitors felt the energy immediately, sensing not fear, not threat, but guidance, trust, and understanding. As introductions continued, Evan realized that his journey had only begun. The galaxy was vast, and every star, every planet, every life form held lessons, challenges, and connections. But he was ready. He had strength, empathy, and wisdom. And with Nira by his side, he knew they could face whatever came next. Later, as the station lights dimmed for night, Evan returned to the observation deck. He stood alone for a moment, feeling the pulse of life in the station, the energy of distant worlds, and the subtle connection to Nira, now miles away but always near through the bond. The stars shone brightly, infinite, and watchful. For the first time, Evan truly understood his place in the universe not as a mere human soldier, but as a being capable of connecting, guiding, and healing. The serum had changed him, yes, but it was his choices, courage, and heart that made the transformation meaningful. He closed his eyes, inhaling the quiet hum of life around him. A soft smile formed on his face. He was ready for whatever the galaxy had to offer. Ready to teach. Ready to learn. Ready to show that humans, when guided by courage and empathy, could rise to heights never imagined. And somewhere, in the gentle glow of the station's lights, Nira watched, proud and hopeful, knowing that together, they had begun something extraordinary, a journey that could change the galaxy forever. Evan opened his eyes, and the stars seemed to shine brighter. Not because the universe had changed, but because humanity had risen to meet it. The healing that had changed him forever had not only rewritten his life, it had begun rewriting the stars.